Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are very much audible. You're on mute right now.
I think let us wait for a few more minutes because there were too many participants who registered for this, but only three of us are here. So let's wait for a few more minutes, then I'll start the seminar. I think no more participants will join. We can start. Is it okay for everyone? Okay. So I hope my screen is visible here. So today, this is our second seminar. We First of all, welcome everybody. So this is our second seminar. We are like currently organizing the seminars to support Indian students so that they can get a job offer in Japan. So this is the second one in the row. The first one uh, about how to get a job in Japan. But now today we are going to talk about skills that are required to work in a Japan. So let us make it little interactive. Now tell me, what do you people think? What is the skill that you need when you want to get a job in Japan? Can anybody tell me? You can use a chat box if you want. Hmm? Any skills that you know that you really need when you want to work in Japan? No? Okay, so let me be very much clear. So we do think that to get in a job, to get a job in Japan, we need different kind of skills, right? The first is the most is the Japanese, right? So the big idea, if I'll talk about how you can get placed in a Japanese company, is the first is the Nihongo, that is the Japanese language. Then you need one specific skills, right? Any kind of skills it can be. Then a mindset. That means how to be in a Japanese society, how to work in a Japanese company, what to say, what not to say. So these are the things that you really need to know before you want to get a job in Japan. If you have these three things, you will get a job in Japan. So the first and the most important is the language. That is the foundation to if you want to work in Japan. So as we know that in the jail, in the previous seminar also, I have already explained that jail PT exam is very much important for any Japanese learner. The JLPT certificate is the certificate that certify your proficiency in the language. So the we start from N5, then we go to N1, that is the most advanced level. Earlier, what happened that any students who knows little bit of Japanese, be it N5 or N4, the Japanese company were ready to hire them. But these days, because of the competition, now, the minimum level of the Japanese proficiency is the N3. So that means you really need to have the N3 level of proficiency if you want to get a job in Japan. But N3 is not sufficient. You need to do the N2 as well and then N1. If you have N1, you are far better than, like, you are among the 1% of the student that will, and that makes sure that you will get a job in Japan. Because if you are N1, you know how to use the Keigo, that is the professional Japanese one. We have studied that there are different level of politeness in the Japanese language, and Keigo is one that is used very rarely. But in the professional scenario, in the workplace, in an office, or in a meeting, the people, and even during the WhatsApp conversation, people are using Keigo. So if you are N1 and you know how to use the Keigo, the Japanese people will be really impressed and they will be like open to hire you. Example here for the Keigo, if I'll say, is the example that we do say wakarimasu. That is wakarimashita. It's simple. Yes, I understand. But wakarimashita is not enough. It shows that you are N4, N3 level. Good. But ryokai shimashita, shochi shimashita are the another variation where you say wakarimashita. So we don't usually say wakarimashita when you are at a workplace. You say shochi shimashita or shochi ita shimashita, making it further polite. Then, as I said, the language is just the foundation. The if you know the N2, if you know the N1, you will get a job, but your domain is limited. To increase the domain and to know to get a good opportunity to work in Japan, you need to have some kind of specialization, some kind of special skills there, right? So these days, if you will look at the data, right, few within the few years, few tech skills are very much in demand. The first and the foremost is the IT skills, the digital transformation and IT skills, right? It's very much in demand. And most probably the if you know the AWS, Azure, these kind of skills, if you know the software, then you are very much good enough to get a job in Japan. Then the cloud computing, be it the cyber security, data analyst, or data science, the AI and the machine language, the software development, the Python, Java, C++. These are the various kind of skills that you need to know. But if you are limiting yourself to the language only, right? If you know only Japanese and the English proficiency you have, then what kind of job you can get? Then there you can get a job that is the teaching the skills. right? The teaching, if you don't have any IT skills, if you don't know how to do the cyber security, if you know the don't know the data analyst, if you just have the knowledge of Japanese language, then N2 and N1 is required. Among within along with the N2 and N1 certification, you need to show that you are very much interested in teaching or the interpretation and translation, because we all know, if you talk about the AI, we don't really need people these days to do the translation, right? Because translation, we can use any kind of a software or the AI, right? But for interpretation, yeah, definitely these even then, even now, we have requirement for the interpretation. So if you are only the bilingual communication, if I'll talk about the Japanese English, then you can get a job of teaching. So for that, you have to show that you have interest in teaching, you know how to teach the subject matter. The second is the interpretation. As I said, that also you can do. But if you are ready to learn few more skills, so Japanese companies are open to hire you and giving you positions like account manager, consultants, legal advisor, executive leadership, or project manager. So even though if you don't have that digital transformation or the IT skills, if for the Japanese, you can do these kind of jobs, right? The business, if you know, if you have like a good understanding of the business and the marketing, then you can get a business role or the marketing role. For that, you need to have a better communication, you need to have a good control of the Japanese language or the English language, and also you should be very much fluent, and also you need to know the skills, the soft power skills, how to present your stuff to the people, right? So this is the thing. If you know only the to get a employment or get a job in Japan, you need the language, you need the skills. If you don't have the skills, then you need to have a good level of Japanese language. But if you have skills, then N3, it's the starting point from where you can start to learn a language. But only knowing the language, having the skills, doesn't assure you a good job in Japan. What Japanese people need is your punctuality, your teamwork, responsibility, right? So these are the certain things that you really need to put in yourself to learn, to adapt, so that the Japanese people can hire you. In the interview of for any Japanese company, they will not ask you too much about your skills or the technical knowledge, whatever you have. But they definitely will ask questions that directly relates or directly or indirectly relates how you are good at teamwork. Are you able to do a teamwork or not? Are you punctual? Do you have the sense of responsibility, or what kind of attitude you have? So your attitude, your soft skills really matters. Even though, let's suppose if I'll say that you have an N1 level of Japanese, you have certain skills, but if you're not punctual, if you are not like giving priority to the teamwork, if you don't understand the sense of responsibility, then there are higher chances that you will not get a job. But a person with N3, having like N3 level of proficiency, knows certain skills, the small skills, but is very much good at the punctuality, teamwork, and the sense of responsibility, that person has a higher chance of getting a job in Japan, right? And also, just knowing the language is not enough. I told you earlier that N1 is very much good to get a job in Japan, or N3 or N2, right? Anything, right? But just knowing the language, clearing the JLPT exam will not assure a job in Japan. What you need to know? You need to know the real implication of your Japanese language, right? You need to know how to like read the atmosphere, when you have to speak, when not to speak, if you're talking to a senior, if you're in a meeting, what kind of points you need to say. For example, you know that in Japanese we avoid the extreme, right? We does just clearly don't say that I'm 100% confident, I don't say that I'm like 0% confidence, right? You have to show that you are very good at your skills, right? You will do something, you have trust in yourself, right? These kind of trust you can show, but you cannot show the overconfidence to an interviewer, right? And that is why here comes, as I said, that you avoid the extreme, we go for an indirect communication. As here you can see in the example, if you want to say no to something, so directly saying no in a Japanese company is really a very big negative or red flag. You should never say a no in Japanese company. You need to know the way of putting the same thing. For example, if I cannot do a task, I will not say that I cannot do. I will not say that I don't want to do, right? Or it's impossible. Rather, I will say that it is little bit difficult for me. So the person in the front of me will get a sense that I want to do. I want to put the effort, but for me it's difficult. So maybe I won't be able to do it, right? So this is an indirect way of saying no. Then hiring is very much complicated. In India, maybe the 2 or 3 steps, but in Japan, in some of the few of the Japanese company will take 7 to 8 level of interviews. So that interview process is very much different. So there you need to make a CV, because when the company is reviewing your profile, you are not there, your face is not there. What is representing you is your CV. If you have a good CV, then it will give a good impression. So in the CV in a Japanese company, do not forget a good picture of yourself. These days, because everything is digital, try to put a colored picture of yourself, right? Not too rude, not too much smiling, not very much casual. A good photograph of yourself in color. Put a picture on your CV. The CV should be structured. In Japanese, we have a format of a Japanese CV. You can search over the internet, you will find the templates. Use it, make your CV and strong and a good structured CV. Then they will do the initial screening of your CV. In the CV, they will select by having your impression there. Then they move forward to the formal interview. So they go level by level. But as I said, they do not put too much focus on what your technical knowledge is, what level you are. But definitely they are going to check whether are you punctual or not, whether you can work in a team or not, what is your attitude towards the company, your family, your society, or the people around you. These are the very much important, right? So the Jiko Shokai there, the first impression definitely is your CV, the picture. The second is your Jiko Shokai. That means giving a self introduction. In every level of interview, they will be giving you the asking you for your good self introduction. So try to prepare your self introduction in a better way. So not only the simple, try to use their humble form of language. Then the definitely the what are the all the barriers is the language. So the language is very much important. The culture of India and Japan is very similar, though there are many differences. So you need to know what are the similarities between your culture and the Japanese culture. Try to understand the difference, try to give the respect, try to adapt yourself. If you are ready to understand, respect their culture, they will like accept you, right? And meanwhile they will also accept your boundaries as well, right? Definitely, as mentioned, that there is a work pressure in Japan. If Japanese people, Japanese companies, Japanese offices come in a mind, people do think they are workaholics, there are a lot of pressure. But I'm like, from my experience, I can tell you that there is, the people do say that there is a work pressure. But if you are working regularly, not the whole 8 hour, 10 hours, if you're working like, let's suppose 2 to 3 hours in a day, every day, if you're making progress, then there is no work pressure. Rather you will feel it very easy, because in the Japanese company you will go through a different, like various level. They will communicate, they will have a meeting, they will have a, like, make the plan, how to go about it, how to execute a plan, what are the objectives. So they discuss it so clearly that you will find it very much difficult to apply it in the real life. So in this way you will not feel a great work pressure or you. right? So the difficult, as I said, that at the beginning you definitely will feel why there are so many meetings, but eventually you will realize that these meetings are helping you in arranging your day, planning your day, and doing the task better, and you will grow in a Japanese company. You will not get many chance to grow in an Indian company or in an American company, but definitely in a Japanese company they will give you a lot of exposure, and you will grow there. After a few years of working in a Japanese company, you will realize that you have grown in your life, right? So but people do say that they want to work in Japan, right? And because of these barriers, the language barrier, lack of understanding of the cultural gap, and the having a prejudiced mind that there is a work pressure in Japan, many students here do not prepare properly because they do not make the CV better, they do not interact well in the interview, so that's create a hurdle there. So, what are the alternative if you really don't want to stay in Japan, you don't want to work in a Japanese company? So, the work a Japanese language student can get is not only in Japan. You can work in a Japanese company in Japan. You can work in a non-Japanese company based in Japan. You can work here in India in any Japanese company. So that are also the alternative that people get here, right? So the you can get a job in Japan, you can get a job in India in a Japanese company. You can work as a teaching and the translation also, right? So there's like a too much opportunity for any Japanese language learner. Right. So I told you that many students are not getting placed in a Japanese company. So what are the points where students are lacking? So the first and the foremost is that the students are learning Japanese language, but what they make mistakes, they are learning Japanese language only for the JLPT exam, right? They are focusing on the JLPT exam. They are not focusing on the conversation skills. They are not learning the real life communication, right? So there comes the problem. So do not only prepare for the JLPT exam, prepare yourself to use your language in the real life, right? Just not writing is important, because in Japanese company you will be having interview, you will be having the meeting, so you need to know a better speaking skills of Japanese, and as well as the listening. If you will not listen properly, you won't be able to respond properly, right? So and also these two, if you have only the Japanese language, then you can get a teaching job. But if you want to get a better job in Japan, go for any kind of professional skills, right? We the Indian students lack very much in the understanding of the culture. So we do go for the language, but we avoid the culture, and that is the biggest mistake of any student learning Japanese language, right? So we need to know that the language is a tool, not the goal. Our goal is to understand the culture, to have the professional skills, to work in a Japanese company, right? So, and we should be focusing on the speaking and the listening skills as well, right? So if you want to get a success, you need to first and the foremost foundation is the language, then work on your skills, behavior, cultural understanding, and then get a job in Japan, right? So this is how you can work and improve on your skills. Only the language is not sufficient, right? If you prepare yourself well, the Japanese company will eagerly hire you in their company. So this is all from my side. Thank you for the patience. If you have any doubt, anything, you can ask me directly about the skills.
Yeah, thank you very much for explaining it so clearly. So I just want to ask one question. You mentioned that Japanese is important, but it is not the only thing that is required to work in a Japanese company, right?
Yes.
So if I talk about techno-functional skills like Power BI, data analysis, SAP, there are various modules in SAP. So how likely a person is going to get a job with this kind of skills?
Okay, so as you already have answered yourself that if you have a good level of Japanese proficiency, be because these skills, as I mentioned, that if you have only bilingual skills in you have the Japanese and English, so that account, the data analyst, consultants, advisor, executive, and if you and you also said the SAP, so if you have these kind of skills, right, and if and with a good Japanese proficiency, make it N2, right? Then there is a higher chance, like maybe the 70 to 80% chances that you will definitely going to get a job in Japan. For that, but what you need to do, you need to do one thing. You need to understand the cultural differences. You need to understand, you have to be very much polite in the interview. You just, if you have the language skills and the skills that you have mentioned, if you have both these, now your chance is to prepare for the interviews only. Try applying for the companies and prepare yourself for an interview. Make a good structured CV in a Japanese format, include each and every skills, and then you can definitely go for the interview. But prepare very good, you like prepare very well for the interview, because the interview is the key here. You, the companies will be directly in communicating with you, so they won't be asking you about what the skills that you have mentioned, but yeah, definitely they are going to ask you about your attitude, how uh, ready you are to work in a Japanese company. So these are the points where you can focus to get a job in Japan. I
Mm-hmm.
think I have
Okay.
answered.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, basically, the etiquettes and the attitude is more important than the technical skills you're saying.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, ma'am.
If let's suppose let me give me the as in the presentation also I have given you the example. Let's suppose here we have three people, Satyam san, Kavya san, and you. So let's suppose you are very good at the technical skills, you lack the Japanese language proficiency. Kavya san very much good at the Japanese language proficiency and also has the skills, but lacks the attitude. I feel that a Japanese that her attitude is not appropriate. She is not very much good at the teamwork. She is not very good at the punctuality. But Satyam san, where he has a average level of Japanese, average level of skills, and is very good at punctuality, teamwork, in the Japanese culture understanding. Right, and he is very much open to learn new skills, work in a Japanese company. So, if as a recruiter, I will give the first point, first number to Satyam san. You, because you know the language, you know the skills, and you somehow showed a good attitude. But Kavya san, even being very good at language, very good at skills, but I somehow felt that she is not appropriate to work in a Japanese company, because she said she is very stubborn, she's not ready to learn, she's not open, she's not accepting, she's so showing overconfidence in the interview. I will not like her. Right. So as a recruiter, I will definitely hire Satyam san and you, but not Kavya san, because she is not showing the appropriate attitude in the interview. The skills really doesn't matter. So even let's suppose I give you one example of a recent interview. If I have three people and among them two has let's suppose one has N1, one N2, one N2, right? So two people has N2 and one having N1 only. But the N1 person has experience of staying in Japan. She's very has experience of, let's suppose, of the work that I'm looking for. But somehow in the interview, I felt that she is not cheerful, she's not bright, she's not open, she's not ready to learn, she's very stubborn. Even though she has N1, I will not hire her. I'll hire the another two person. So that is why the language and skills are important. But your attitude, your understanding of the culture, your openness is equally important to get a job in Japanese company.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Any more questions? Any doubts?
Uh, Ma'am, I wanted to ask one more thing. Like, what is the like proficiency in academic level to clear the JLPT N5?
N5. See, these days N5 more than I would say, like, the if the seats, if you will see in the one center, it comes like more than 2,000, 3,000 seats are there, and many students every year are appearing for N5 level, right? So, and to complete the N5 level, you if you are studying every day, let's suppose for a 1 hour every day, if you are ready to give to the Japanese language, you can focus, then 3 months are enough to clear the JLPT N5. But clearing the N5 is just the first step. It's not going to bring a very good job opportunities to you. But yeah, definitely you can show that even though you have different skills, you have started Japanese language and you are open to learn it, and you have cleared N5, that shows that you are willing to study more and clear the different levels also. So that point you can show to the interviewer.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi. Any more questions? Any doubts? Hmm? If not, then we can conclude the session. If you have more doubts, please feel free to ask, because it's an open conversation seminar kind of thing where if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask.
Ma'am, by any chance, are you associated with the Amity University, Noida?
Yes, I used to teach at Amity University, Noida earlier.
Okay, ma'am. Like, ma'am, I'm a student from Amity only.
Oh, great to know. Yeah, I used to teach at Amity University, Noida, but not now.
Okay.
Yes. Anything that you want to ask? If not, then
I have one question.
yes.
Talking about skills and Japanese language proficiency and attitude, how does the proportion of each of those in excelling for a job differ from a Japanese company in Japan and a non-Japanese company in Japan?
Okay, so here, see, the language, as I said, the language, the skills, the cultural understanding is very much important. But if you are here in India and working in a Japanese company, so because though the people there are already in India and somehow understand the Indian culture, so they will like adapt themselves. They are ready to adapt, and there, if you are not very much understanding the culture of Japan, like how to behave in a society or somewhere, right? So they sub and but if you are open to learn, currently, let's suppose you don't have that knowledge, but you are ready to learn, right? So they will not focus much on that part, because you will be here in India, staying in India, like having your food, having interacting with your people, you will not face that problem, right? Focusing on the understanding of the culture is not just that they need it. You also need that, because if you will go to Japan, you have to be there, you have to adapt there. If you are ready, then it's okay. If you are understanding the culture, that there will be the food differences, food culture is different, and you understand, and then you are ready to accept it, they focus on that point. But if you are here in India, even though you then here you don't have to eat the Japanese food, you don't have to interact very much with the Japanese people. So somehow, if you are working here in any Japanese company, they will be little bit easy on this part. They will not focus on that part, the cultural understanding. They definitely would want you to learn, because after 2 years they are going to send you there to their home branch, right, the prime office. But here, if you are here, so they can somehow give relaxation in this part only. But the teamwork, punctuality, they definitely will want from your side, the commitment.
Yeah, thank you for that answer. But I was actually asking, in the scenario of Japan itself, if we want a job in Japan, and one of it is a Japanese company and one of it is an American company but based out of Japan. So how does the weightage change in both the scenarios of these skills?
See, uh, they give the equal weightage. But yeah, as I said, like if the from company to company the perspective changes, right? What weightage they are giving, the another company cannot say about it. Let's suppose if I'll talk about my company, so they will focus on all the three. They will also focus on your comfortability, how what are the things that will be easy for you. But yeah, definitely if you're working in a non-Japanese company in Japan, right, they they do not very much focus on the punctuality. They work similarly as they are working in another company. So that is, I can say, that's the point.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Any more questions?
Yeah, just wanted to ask one thing. Is there any open role available right now in Sekisho, or if I want to know in future as well, then how I can, get to know about it?
Okay. So for that, you can follow us over the Insta, right? If there will be any opportunity, you can. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to like have a if you have specific skill sets, you can DM us over the Insta. You can share your CV. We can review and can start the process. The first is the job fair. You can apply there in the job fair, right? And
Mm-hmm.
for the announcement of the job fair will be done over the SNS, the Instagram that will be doing the promotion and you will get to know. But let's suppose in some time of the year you want to shift and want to go to Japan, you can share your CV. We can send it to the like we can review it. And if you want to work for another company as well, we can provide the assistant for that as well, like
Mm-hmm.
introducing your
Okay.
CV to different companies. That also we can do.
So basically to a third party.
Yes, matlab, let's suppose if you don't want to work in Sekisho, or if we don't
Mm-hmm.
have opening and you are ready to work in another company in Japan, so we can
Mm-hmm.
introduce you to those company. We can share your CV, we can recommend you there.
Understood. So based on our skill set, you will recommend us to that particular company.
Yes, by doing the matching the requirement of the company, if they are open, we can
Hmm.
introduce you.
Understood. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Okay, any more questions? I think it's the time. So thank you for joining us today. We'll be having similar seminar in future as well. Maybe the next month, definitely one seminar focusing on similar topic, how we can help the Indian students. The first already done, the skills we have talked about. We'll try to find something very much relevant that can be helpful for the students here who are willing to work in Japan. So thank you very much, people, for joining today, and try to join the next seminar as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll discuss.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, so like these seminars like occur usually and like they are frequently occurring.
हाँ, एक बार फिर से बोलेंगे आप?
मैम मतलब ये होते रहते हैं
हाँ, मैं मतलब
सेमिनार.
this is open seminar that I conduct only for the students who are willing to work in a Japanese company. So that I am conducting right now every month. So we did it in March, then April. We'll be doing it in May as well. Having like we will be writing email to the students. If you have any suggestions, what topic you want to discuss, we can try to get information and do the seminar on that topic as well. If not, we'll be trying to find a relevant topic that will be helpful for the students and then we'll conduct it. For the promotion, we'll be putting it over the LinkedIn and as well as over the Instagram. You can follow us on the Instagram page, that is Sekisho Nihongo Institute, Sekisho India, and there you can get the information about the seminar, can make the registrations as well.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm like ending the call. Thank you, people, for joining today.